your meat
at all.
Well, and
Right.
he became the head of the World Bank. How did we do that? The specter of that.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro. That's a good question, man. How did all this crap happen? How did we get into that Iraq war mess? That's sick, man. This has 156 views. I had to really dig to find this. This is called, what the hell is this goddamn stupid called? What the hell is this goddamn stupid thing called? Crossfire. Cross toilets. It's called Iraq, the deadline. Whoa, the final hour. Jesus. God damn it, man. Check this out. How did this happen? How did we get tricked into this crap?
Hi, I'm Jillian Frumkin from Buffalo Grove, Illinois.
How you
We
doing?
continue to hear about steps that will be taken after the U.S. wins the war, but what will define a win?
Well, General Clark, I thought, was wonderfully eloquent about that. I mean, we have very, very high objectives our president has set. It's not only to depose Saddam Hussein, it's not only to disarm his weapons of mass destruction, but it is to bring a democracy and freedom to the Iraqi people, which is a very important, noble goal, but I think it's going to be awfully difficult to pull off.
Check this out, man. The one guy who stood up and pushed back on all this crap, he stood up and he said, "You're a moron."
Well, I think the lives of everyone in Iraq are going to be improved the moment Saddam Hussein leaves, and that's a win. Yes.
Okay. What was that? If you couldn't hear what he's saying, he said,
cut your meat.
That's on YouTube.
You gotta be careful, Tucker Carlson, because
That's on YouTube.
We allowed the architects of the Iraq War, who gravely injured the United States, got all these people killed, Americans killed,
they did not.
to continue to advance.
back.
They were never held to account for what they did.
You can't
ever.
talk about
At
them like
all.
that.
Well,
Those
and
are
he
cool
became
guys.
the head of the World Bank.
Well, I think the lives of everyone in Iraq are going to be improved the moment Saddam Hussein leaves.
This is exactly the same pitch as the Iraq War.
No, it is
Weapons
not.
of mass destruction.
Oh, I know.
You have to get it. So they
Take it
understand
back.
one thing. They think the playbook works. This is why we have to stop it now. If we don't stop it now, it's going to work all the time. They think that playbook of lulling the American people to sleep and telling them there's these evil people that have to be taken down, and if they're taken down, everything's going to be fine after that, and that
Take
we
it back.
face an apocalypse if that doesn't happen.
That's on YouTube.
What's on YouTube?
Cut your meat.
Okay, I'll check that out. I watched all 1 hour and 18 minutes of this. I'm sorry, like 45 minutes. 2X style, I do. You know, the whole time he's like, these guys, man. These guys are the best guys. They're the coolest guys. They're disgusting, also. They're my best friends. They're awful. Also, can you believe these sickos lied us into this war in the early 2000s? I mean me. I'm talking about me, by the way, on that too. Hey, shut up, man.
Hey, shut up. Give this guy a break, though.
There's no way of that he could have known.
There's no way he could have known, man.
You know, now he knows. He's like, oh, man, look. I'm going to kind of leave out that I was a big part of the propaganda for that. I'm going to leave that one out. It's only got 100 views on YouTube, you know. Leave that out. But we got to give this guy a break because, you know, nobody knew, man. Nobody knew that these people were lying, and that he's all pissed off about this now. Him and Steve Bannon, they're all pissed off. Oh man, they lied about that thing, that Iraq War thing. They were lying. But hey, you know, now we know. Now we know. Nobody knew back then.
Cut your meat.
Scooter. Janine's interview with O'Reilly on March 6, 2003 was so brilliant that we're still talking about it 11 years later. Has Bill ever called to apologize?
No. Actually, I was on his show like 5 times, so I don't know which particular one, but there was the one where I said I would, if I was wrong about Iraq, and I actually hoped that I would apologize to Lynn Cheney, something like that.
Right.
And
He said something like, if this takes longer than a month, I will apologize.
no, I'm not sure if that was that one, but I know that, and then he said I don't even know if he offered to apologize, but he, on multiple occasions on his show, called on me to apologize because I was so wrong about Iraq, and then Joe Scarborough gave me the Black Crow Award.
We've devolved, and that's why I'm not kidding.
You better take it
As
seriously,
Elon
man.
was the special government employee to do Doge to try to get waste, fraud, and abuse.
Right.
I think because we're at war now, and the war we're at is an internal war. It's an internal war with this apparatus that we finally have a leader that will have the back of people that will go in because he wants it taken down. It's weird. I think he's getting terrible advice around that.
Okay, guys, this is serious. Take this seriously. Guys, you need to
cut your meat
and get serious. I've seen a lot of headlines and YouTube videos about this where they're like, oh my God, wow, this is amazing. Oh, this is crazy. You know, these what would you call them? Conservative influencers. Oh God, they're breaking ranks. They didn't want war. Now they're like, this This is the same old crap all over again, man.
They're breaking. They're not going in lockstep, man.
They're breaking away. They're sick of it. But really, I watched this whole interview. It's an hour and 18 minutes long, and basically they're doing like the social media version of what Tucker Carlson was doing in the early 2000s. You know, back then he got his orders. Hey, you go sell this goddamn thing, you little bow tie freak. You know. Now the new version of that is like, hey man, we don't like the wars, and we were saying this guy's gonna stop wars, but now that's clearly not true. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna fight that deep state. Oh, but no, he didn't. He got outsmarted by them. I guess. I don't know. No. Maybe he is fighting them. It's just he's defeating them. But not right now. Is that okay? It is funny. I think this is why I like watching all this conservative media, because it's just like trying to watch somebody get out of some trap or something. Trying to watch like a mouse get out of one of those mazes or whatever the hell that crap is. It's like trying to watch somebody
Cut your meat.
You know, because they're like, oh man, this guy's gonna fight the deep state, man. And then Trump goes on social media, is like, Kooky Taka, he's got a dog's name. Tell him that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. We gotta go in there. Full war in there. So now what do you do? Now what do you say? Oh, he was blackmailed and bribed? No, I can't say that either. That's really what this whole 1 million views in under a day video is. It's not like interesting politically. You don't get any insights from it. It's not even what people are saying, like, oh, there's a split. There's a split in the crap, man. No, it's just two media perverts trying to figure out how to lose as little of their audience as possible. That's pretty much it.
Right now, you have Wall Street, you have big tech, you have big agriculture.
No, you do
have
not.
big pharma. Okay. You have the big healthcare industry. You have the defense contractors. You have the concentration of these massive industries that have every lobbyist.
Hurdles that are insurmountable.
This is the regulatory capital.
I'm living that in something that we're doing on the side. And
what is it? What do you
just find out that
why keeping it so secret?
Crazy.
That concentration.
Oh my God.
Regulatory capital.
Calm down.
Regulatory merger. That's what we have, and that's what President Trump, the promise of President Trump, is to break that. The American people don't want it. They hate it.
Finally.
Now, they need the tools to do it, and that's why I think this next couple of 100 days, coming after the 10th anniversary.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, hell yeah, that's Steve Bannon. My favorite thing about Stephen James Bannon is he's got the, pens. He's always got the pens, in his shirt, He's always got the 3 pens. They call him Stevie 3 pens.
And the reason he has those pens in there is because somebody might be like, Steve, quick, write something down. He's like,
Steve, my dry cleaning needs to be picked up immediately. What's the address? So that's what that is, man. So, but anyway, Steven and the other guy, they're going on and on droning. People are saying, nah, I don't believe that. I think it's a great discussion. But these guys are for normal people, okay? Normal people are sick of all this kind of crap. And clearly the guy that they like, who they have to say they like for their audience, he's not maybe what is the solution? Because he's calling them both morons. So what do we do? Should people do what they've always done, to make any progress in the world? Like the civil rights movement, getting out there, protesting. That's probably the answer, right? Right?
But I want to ask you about what's happening in California. It does seem like resisting federal authority on immigration is an act of sedition more profound than anything they did at Fort Sumter in 1861.
Throw them in jail.
And this is not resolved. What are we watching right now in California with Gavin Newsom?
You're from D.C. I'm from Richmond.
Yep.
I'm raised in Richmond. And I keep telling people, I thought we settled this about federal law and states' rights and succession in the mid-1860s. We had a civil war to determine the outcome of this. We've had that discussion. We've had that argument. It's been settled. I said this to President Trump in the first term, that this whole thing of sanctuary cities and sanctuary states is absolutely a neo-Confederate, mentality that you can have. Gavin Newsom.
Great idea.
He said that?
Yes,
great idea.
He's smart. It's a
so smart.
It is.
Exactly. Hey, shut up, Tucker.
I'm stealing that, by the way.
Let that guy talk, goddamn you.
Look, you had this thing before the Civil War.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry about that.
Jackson and John C. Calhoun.
Yeah.
On tariffs.
Sorry about that, guys.
The landed aristocracy in South Carolina.
Calm down.
We're totally focused on that, and President Trump actually implementing the deportations of mass deportations.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, this thing breaks out in Persia, in the Middle East, and now the whole country is just focused on that. It's almost
Right.
like a time diversion to get our attention.
feel that way.
Because Bibi gave it up.
Okay, hold on. I gotta see that reaction from Tucker again. Good God.
It's almost like a time diversion to get our
Does
attention.
feel that way.
Because Bibi gave
What the? You should go away even harder with that. This seems like a diversion. I don't know. There's something about it. Seems like a diversion. What the
Cut your meat.
Oh, God damn it. Let's check this out.
Look at my penis.
Cut your meat.
That's right. When that sound plays, you know it's a newsman alert. It's a full-on newsman alert. Check out what this goddamn guy's talking about.
Jon Stewart.
Who?
Jon Stewart. Very critical of the U.S. getting involved in a war in Iran.
Right.
Except he spends his time discrediting right-wing voices that want us to avoid war with Iran.
Okay.
I wonder why that is. Well, my friends,
Okay.
I will play the clip.
Okay, this is funny. The newsman. And what the hell is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about some Jon Stewart clip. I went and watched this Jon Stewart clip, and he's basically just saying, like, oh, yeah, there's some anti-Iran war with Iran right-wingers, or at least they say they are. And he's like, okay, that's good. That's a good position. But they're not really anti-military, anti-war, because they want the military to go, I don't know, round up protesters or something. So whatever. Nothing shocking. Pretty obvious point there. Tim Pool's gonna absolutely dunk on the ass of what the hell is the goddamn guy's name?
But Jon Stewart is a hypocrite and a liar.
Whoa! That's a lot, man.
The MAGA mindset appears to be we didn't vote for foreign wars.
Okay.
We voted for civil war.
Ah, but he's lying.
The battle for America was going to take place in Los Angeles. The only way to win here is to double and triple down.
Not once did Steve Bannon say in that clip, deploy the military. He simply said, this is war. We've got to double and triple down. What does that mean? It's all pulled out of context, and this is the dirty game Jon Stewart plays. John, stop being so scummy. But you know what the problem is? That's what his show is and always has been.
Oh man, this guy rules. Okay, so if you didn't catch what Tim Pool was saying there, he's like, hey man, this Jon Stewart, what he called him, a scumbag? He called him a pendejo. Because he's like, Steve Bannon never said in that clip that he wants the military to get these protesters. Okay, again, I did watch this whole 1 hour, 18-minute Tucker Carlstone thing. You're Steve Bannon.
the day after this stuff happened over that weekend was President Trump ought to triple the ICE raids, and he ought to go to he ought to go to schools. Hey, they got to go, right?
Okay.
They have to go, and it's not pleasant. We got to be very humane about it. But you have to have a show of force. And if you need to send in the Army, if you need to send in federalized National Guard, we have to do it. California is the railhead of this.
Got it.
That's why you have to.
Okay. Hey, shut up, Steve, man. You're gonna make Tim Pool look bad. Oh, no, wait. He said in that clip. So he gave himself maybe a little out of some kind.
The MAGA mindset appears to be we didn't vote for foreign wars. We voted for civil war.
Ah, but he's lying.
The battle for America was going to take place in Los Angeles. The only way to win here is to double and triple down.
Not once did Steve Bannon say in that clip, deploy the military. He simply said, this is war. We've got to double and triple down. What does that mean?
And if you need to send in the Army, if you need to send in federalized National Guard,
we're doing child abuse right now. I'm sorry. This guy, he is a little kid. I think you have to mark when you upload a YouTube video, are you making fun of little kids in this video? And I'm going to have to check yes. I'm going to get flagged.
Orville Faubus, who was the governor of Arkansas in 1956, presides over the state that refuses to desegregate.
Right.
After the Supreme Court says you have to desegregate.
Don't like where you're going with this, Tucker.
And Dwight Eisenhower was not a liberal.
Right.
Says you can't ignore federal authority on a federal issue. This is a Supreme Court decision. And he sends the 101st Airborne to Little Rock to Central High School and says, sorry, you're going to desegregate. Now, whatever you think of that, kind of disgusting in certain ways, but it's also essential to...
Wait. Yeah, so I have been seeing a bunch of videos and stories and stuff. They're like, wow, there's a split, you know? They're like, oh, wow, there's a split. These guys, they're anti-war. You know, maybe they are. Maybe they're like... Even though this guy was one of the main salespeople of the Iraq War, you know, he's like, well, I really learned my lesson from that. You know, I guess we could give them some credit for that, but also, like, they're also nut jobs. Like, these are two nut jobs. Hey, I don't know, what's the difference? I don't know. What's the difference? What's the difference between the government saying, hey, you can't do segregation anymore, which, did I mishear him? He said might be disgusting. What's the difference between that and the government making people do segregation? Why are they mad about this? You know, yeah, they're nut jobs. These are lunatics. Oh, there's a MAGA split or whatever. You know, especially these guys, these like propagandists. These are crazy people. These are, you know. Okay, so everybody's making videos about this video with Stephen Banyan, and Tucker.
Cut your meat.
No, I won't, man. I take my meat uncut.
Cut your meat.
Shut up.
Show me the proof, dumbass.
Everybody's been responding to this. Here's one of the better ones. Here we go. Oh, this guy's still on YouTube. Dave Rubin. Okay, let's check that out.
So now I want to connect this to Trump's response. Because
Absolutely.
Trump is the leader of MAGA.
He better not be.
And I think he now has a threat within MAGA and America First. I don't think...
Okay.
The left is no longer a threat in some sense. Yes, they're apoplectic, they're crazy, we're going to get to what they're doing on the streets and all those things, but we know their numbers are dumping out. But the number one threat, it seems to me, for MAGA will be this thing that Tucker represents, unfortunately. Doesn't mean you have to be for war. Have you ever
He's a person of interest. Hey, Matt, shut up. Can I talk? Hey.
Jesus, man, can I get a word in edgewise?
I really gotta
cut your meat
just to get a word in here. He's public enemy number one, man.
For a war with Iran? Now, would I don't have a problem, as I said, with Israel doing what it thinks it has to do existentially.
Of course not. Hey, that was shocking. Okay, so there we go, guys. You know, I think the big takeaway from all this is if you need a pen, hit up Steve Banyan. He's got 3 of them at all times. You know, if there's a pen emergency, Steve will be able to help you out. Guys, it's Wednesday.
Not the best, not the worst. It's just, can't pick a side.
Fence sitter of the week. Days. Wednesday. Wednesday's too afraid to commit to anything. Wednesday, get it together and
cut your meat.
Love you guys. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye. No.
Looks like I just gotta move up, huh? Saw the will of a wisp anyway.